I am so tired of women being preyed upon and raped and traumatized in order for men to steal their life force energy, in order for men to get their dicks in as many women as possible, because they are misogynistic psychopaths, they are cult leaders, and you think he's this guru from India. Hey, look at him. He talks about not having nuclear weapons and following nature. Of course he does. That's part of the manipulation. When are we going to wake up for real and put an end to the predators that rape women on this fucking globe? When are you going to see it for what it is, people? The number one predator of women across the entire fucking planet is men. And they prey upon women in all different ways. Women being so traumatized because they were lured in, thinking they were going to get healed and helped. And they had this great teacher, this guru. And then when you have your trust and you're alone, you're one-on-one, he tells you that in order to heal you, this is what's going to heal this trauma. This is what's going to elevate you. Tantra, because this is so healing. Let me guide you and show you the way. And then I'm going to have sex with you. Let's do these rituals together. In order for you to heal your traumas and what you're trapped in, I need to stick my dick in you because that will heal you. That's a fucking predator. That is a cult leader. This is happening all over the world. And this is what pseudo-spirituality is. Are we waking up yet to just another subset of what patriarchy is, that 100% of the time is going to oppress and enslave and rape and demean and control and traumatize the divine feminine, women? Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Hello, beautiful souls, magical beings. Oh, this is Rachel Fiori, and I've got a doozy for you today. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast. We are going to dive in to a topic that, take a breath and drop into your hearts, is probably going to make a lot of you uncomfortable or trigger some of you. We're going to talk about, I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to talk about an Indian spiritual, quote unquote, guru that is actually a sex predator. And this sexual predator is a cult leader. But of course, he calls himself a guru because he's from India. It must be real because he's so spiritual. Let's dive into this because this is prevalent across the fucking globe. And I am sick to death. I am so sick of women being preyed upon and manipulated and brainwashed and used for sex so that these psychopaths, these predators that lure people in and then prey on women in order to fuck them and call themselves gurus. We're going to dive into this topic. Patriarchy is a global fucking cult. Have you figured that out yet? Okay. So what's absolutely astonishing and kind of hilarious is that you have all these people in the collective, because this is part of the brainwashing. Oh, cult this, cult that. If anything goes against what patriarchy says is the way we're supposed to exist, oh, it's a cult, that's a cult leader. Go fuck yourselves. Because here's the truth. You're being brainwashed to choose to consent to and quantum entangle with the global cult that exists, which means you then also connect yourselves to the subcults that exist within the one big global cult that is patriarchy. Patriarchy is a global cult system designed to enslave you and steal your life force energy, to drain you from your loosh, to disconnect you literally from your soul. That is the point. And that's what it does very successfully in a manipulative, calculative way. That is what it does. It's sadistic, but it's done by design and it is on purpose. Okay. So this global cult, which is patriarchy, knew way before you ever had one iota, one freaking crumb of a partial fragment of a clue that you started to awaken, what that awakening process is, before you even went there and started to wake up for real. They already knew the Great Awakening was coming. So they throw out and cast out all their nets. They're 10 steps ahead. And here is one of the things that they have done. They knew that people were going to start to get a clue about what religions actually are. Those are subcults. They're brainwashing, they're misogynistic, they're sadistic. All right. All patriarchal, of course. They knew people would start to be like, okay, wait, what's going on with religion? This is real. This doesn't feel right. What do you mean women should be subservient and God is a man? And it's all complete inversion. And by the way, if patriarchy wasn't a goddamn inversion, you wouldn't need violent force to enforce it and make it stick. But here we are in war all the time. Here we are violently raping and preying on women all over the world and children and, of course, other men at times, preying on people, raping in every way possible. Financially, physically, sexually, psychologically, everybody's being raped all the time by patriarchy because that's what patriarchy is. It's rape culture at every level and every degree you could possibly come up with a way to violate another being. Animals, nature, women, children, and men. Everybody's being raped. And in a patriarchal, cult-led existence, you're going to have countless subcults that function in that big cult system, but you are also going to have your fucking psychotic men who call themselves gurus and are all spiritual and vomit spiritual bullshit because intellectually they know the language to use that is spiritual language. Here comes the brainwashing. And because we live in a very misogynistic, brainwashing, patriarchal world, you automatically are conditioned to completely dismiss women, any powerful woman, dismiss what she is or what she has to teach you, and automatically go listen to a man just because he's a man. Oh, let's add an Indian from India who's a guru, a self-appointed guru, who is nothing but a fucking predator. Let's call this guru Amos. Let's give him that name. Amos exists in the world and preaches things like, oh, we should get rid of war. We should get rid of nuclear weapons. Oh, nature is the key. I'm a guru. And he also believes he's fucking Jesus incarnated, just as a side note. But he preaches all this bullshit, makes himself sound believable. Here you go. Here's where you're all trapped in your minds. And when you don't learn how to get the fuck out of your mind and actually listen to the consciousness of your body to go deeper and let your soul speak to you, which isn't your fucking mind. This is how you get caught up in, oh, but he's so spiritual and he vomits spiritual stuff. He must be the truth. He knows what he's talking about. Oh, he works with energy. He must be enlightened. Oh, no, he's a predator. And he preys upon women. So he gathers all these followers because in his community, he's like, oh, look I did this good thing in the community. Oh, look what I did. And I don't want war. I want to get rid of nuclear weapons. Look at me, nature. Oh, let me throw in Divine Mother here and there so that I can brainwash you into trusting me and following me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you, women, of course, I'm going to teach women that come over that I can lure in. I am going to tell you after I gain your trust and I give you all these spiritual teachings and I start vomiting your past life bullshit and I earn your trust by manipulating you. I'm going to do that. This is part of coercion. I'm going to lie to you, manipulate you. I'm going to coerce you into following me, choosing to go along with anything and everything I say. Let's do these rituals together. Oh, look, I got you. You're in. And then I'm going to tell you, in order for you to heal your traumas and what you're trapped in, I need to stick my dick in you because that will heal you. That's a fucking predator. That is a cult leader. You dumb fucks who follow him. And anybody like him. Now, of course, he doesn't say, I'm going to stick my dick in you. I'm letting you know in a very blunt way, that's what he's doing. And you're going to call him a guru and keep following him instead of calling him the rapist that he is. This is our patriarchal world and our dumb fucks who are brainwashed in spirituality. And you still think because you're spiritual, that somehow means you're an awakened being. They are not one and the same. And I am so tired of women being preyed upon and raped and traumatized in order for men to steal their life force energy, in order for men to get their dicks in as many women as possible, because they are misogynistic psychopaths, they are cult leaders, and you think because it's a fucking India, he's this guru from India. Hey, look at him. He talks about not having nuclear weapons and following nature. Of course he does. That's part of the manipulation, you fucking retards. When are we going to wake up for real and put an end to the predators that rape women on this fucking globe? When are you going to see it for what it is, people? Men and women both. When are you going to see it for what it is? I am tired of women being so traumatized because they were lured in thinking they were going to get healed and helped. And they had this great teacher, this guru. And not all these dumb fuck men who follow him and support him. So I'm gonna tell you part of this story. Obviously, I'm leaving key information out. And I'm doing that to protect the privacy of certain individuals. So one of this psychopath, cult leader, predator, rapist followers, I don't know, let's call him Landon. My guru, my Guruji, my guru, my Guruji. Yeah, my guru says, my Guruji. Yes, Guruji. Oh, my guru says, my guru says. Totally fucking blindly, just brainwashed, blindly follows everything. Travels to India for years and then a month at a time because his guru is guru. Oh, it is fucking vomitous. So he introduces other people to his quote unquote guru and gets them to travel overseas. And then this is what this predator does. He preys upon the women that are in front of him and does all the manipulation and the grooming and gain your trust and, vomits spiritual fucking bullshit, blah, blah, blah. So he sounds like he knows what he's talking about and he's the real deal. And then when you have your trust and you're alone, you're one-on-one, he tells you that in order to heal you, this is what's going to heal this trauma. This is what's going to elevate you. Tantra. Oh, let's introduce, because this is so healing. Let me guide you and show you the way. And then I'm going to have sex with you. So he's preying upon women and then brags about how many women he's quote unquote healed. I've healed, which means he's fucked and preyed upon over 2,000 women, according to him. And this is what's going on. And you call this a guru. No red flags? Okay. So I confronted Landon, we're calling him. I confronted him and let him know we're going to have a conversation about consent. Do you think consent when somebody is lied to is actually consent, even if they go along with something? Do you think that if somebody is manipulated, being brainwashed, being groomed, their power of authority over somebody who's following them as their teacher, so that power dynamic, that power difference, they're going to abuse that power and they gain your trust over time. And you go along with something because now they've manipulated you and brainwashed you to the point where you feel like you have to go along with it. And well, maybe this does heal. I don't know. I'm confused now. But you've been groomed. You've been worked on for months at gaining the trust. That's what grooming is, that you follow, you believe in that person, right? So I confronted, we're calling him Landon, on his fucking guru, who's not a guru. He's a rapist and a sexual predator and a cult leader. No red flags, Landon? None? Nothing? You see what he's doing? You found out what he's doing? You spent years with him and then you go back and spend like a month with him. He's obviously preying upon women and fucking them, telling them that's what's going to heal them. Nothing in your male privileged, dense, stupid fucking mind, nothing said to you that this is a predator. Not one fucking clue. Or you're also a predator in this cult because you're brainwashed too. This is happening all over the world. And this is what pseudo spirituality is. That the Great Awakening is happening. How are we going to make sure people don't wake up for real? Well, we just put all these men, because everybody listens to men. Men must know everything because they're men. That's what we believe in a patriarchal world. And we've learned to dismiss women, and we've learned to shy away from the power and the truth and the bluntness of an actual divine, powerful woman who's here to give you the fucking truth to help protect you and save you. But you're going to dismiss all of that and say, you have to say it in a soft voice, or you're not enlightened. Oh, I'm sorry. Because you want to know something funny? You want to know why I talk like this? To wake you up for real. And why I teach like this sometimes? To wake you the fuck up for real. You want to know why I do it? Because the guru, Amos, who's a fucking rapist, doesn't talk like this. I'm giving you contrast, dumb fucks, to wake you up for real. Amos doesn't talk like this. He doesn't curse. He talks in a monotone. Oh, because that's what we've been brainwashed to believe, that he's a spiritual guru. Oh, Guruji. Oh, Guruji. Let me bow down to my Guruji. Yes, he knows everything, my Guruji. Uh-huh. And he's raping women. But he wears the garb and he speaks about oneness and he talks about Buddha and Jesus and he believes he's Jesus too. That should be a fucking red flag in and of itself. It wasn't. You're dumb. Really? This is what we're still dealing with as a society, as women? Women have to keep continuing to deal with being preyed upon. The number one predator of women across the entire fucking planet is men. And they prey upon women in all different ways. And you still think rape is some man hiding behind fucking bushes late at night. That isn't what it is anymore. Well, I mean, it's still that too, unfortunately, because that shit still exists. It happens in so many ways. And grooming is one of the biggest ways it happens. You see, in this Great Awakening, how do we make sure we can continue to steal the life force energy from women so they never wake up for real? That we traumatize them to the point where they can't awaken and connect to their inner divine power. How do we make sure that happens? This is how. We put out spirituality and put all these men out leading it like they know fuck all about fuck all. And all they're doing is gathering a bunch of followers, and they're gathering a bunch of women to prey upon. Oh, but they're so awakened. Says who? A lot of you are listening to and following and are devotees of fucking rapists, of predators. But they say the right thing and they talk in a voice like this and they're very calm. And because they're playing a fucking part. Hello, manipulation. Are we waking up yet? That's manipulation. You want to know why I punch you in the fucking face? Because it's going to make you uncomfortable. You want to know what happens when you're energetically uncomfortable? You start to search for the actual truth. And that is what I am challenging you to do. Every single one of you that is listening to this. How do you know you're in a fucking cult? How do you know it's an actual cult leader? Oh, but look at all the documentaries on cult leaders. That's how I know. Because nobody knows they're in a fucking cult with this son of a bitch who lives in India and calls himself a guru. Dumb and blind. But he talks about multi-consciousness. So when you have sex with 2,000 women, this is multi-consciousness. Are we waking up yet to just another subset of what patriarchy is, that 100% of the time is going to oppress and enslave and rape and demean and control and traumatize the divine feminine women? Do you get this yet? The violence to women, the manipulation, the raping, the controlling of, the literal energetic sucking your life force energy out and disconnecting you from your soul. That is what patriarchy does in 1,000 different fucking ways. And this is just one of the ways. And it does it to everybody. Children, women, and men, animals, nature, everything that is living and in existence, patriarchy destroys, feeds off of. And anybody in that system is a part of a system that feeds off of the souls of others, literally. The foundational work at Masters of Self University that I teach and I push hard. Learn the difference. Here's how you learn the difference. Connect to your soul. Connect to your soul. Your soul is your number one teacher in this lifetime. Unfortunately, because of all the brainwashing horse shit in the fucking patriarchal world and all these subsets of spiritual community, that's all just patriarchy, brainwashing you and sucking your fucking soul out of you. Most people don't know the goddamn difference energetically between their trauma, their inner child talking to them, guiding them in a certain way. They have no idea quantum energetics at this level, integrated in practical everyday life. They have no clue. None of them are educated in it. Well, that's my soul guiding me. I'm listening to my internal voice. No, you're not. You're listening to your internal trauma. You can't tell the fucking difference because in this moment, that trauma doesn't feel bad. In this moment, you're being guided over here instead of going over there. The example of one of the victims of this man, this predator, this fucking rapist. She was drawn in. Why? Because they feed on your trauma. They know what your trauma is, and then they tell you what you want to fucking hear. And they flatter you. They call you goddess. They tell you how important and special. Oh, and you're this and you're that. They hype you up. They hype up your fucking ego. They hype up your inner child who is desperate for validation, who is desperate for somebody to see them, who is desperate to be noticed and to feel seen and to feel important and to feel like you matter. All of that is fucking trauma. And while you still have that seeking of external comfort, validation, support, to be seen, to be heard, to be all the things, external, outside of you. As long as you still have that going on within you, you can be preyed upon. You can be manipulated. You can be brainwashed. You can be raped and taken advantage of. You can be mind controlled. You can still be manipulated and used and abused and tossed to the side when they're done with you. Why? Because you haven't healed the part of you. You haven't become divinely whole yet. You haven't connected to your soul and healed all your traumas and your wounds. External sources are not your source of healing and happiness. It doesn't mean you don't need teachers or healers or guides. I'm not telling you that. That's part of the problem, and this is where it gets confusing. If you just could do it all yourself, you wouldn't be unhealed and you wouldn't have trauma and you wouldn't be brainwashed and mind controlled. Hello? It doesn't mean that we don't benefit from people helping us. That's the problem, because right there, that's where these sadistic motherfuckers prey upon people because they know that. That's where these predators and these rapists prey upon people to get everybody to follow them and to pay them money and to bring them more women. And the more blind male followers I have, they'll just bring more women to me, and then I can fuck them all and rape them all. Meanwhile, I can say they consented to it because of the coercion, the manipulation. I'm telling them I can heal them. That's a form of rape. Just because the woman goes along with that, when they've been brainwashed, when they've been manipulated, when they've been preyed upon, when they have been groomed. You don't say a child consented to their rape, her rape or his rape as a child when they were groomed. You're going to blame the fucking child? Well, the child consented to it. The child didn't fight back and fight him off when the man was molesting and raping him. And somehow it's different when women are brainwashed and groomed and manipulated, we still want to blame the victim twice. So I'm going to tell you another part of this story. I confronted who we're calling Landon about his rapist cult leader guru, and his immediate reaction, my heart is pounding. Oh my gosh. He turned into the victim. This is too much. And immediately defended his fucking rapist cult leader, quote unquote, guru, who thinks he's Jesus. Zero concern for the victim that he knows. Now, who knows how many more victims he knows of, but he personally knows one of them. No concern for her at all. Got defensive, defended his cult leader, rapist, fucking quote unquote guru. And then gaslit everybody in this meeting when I brought this up. We need to talk about consent and what's really going on here. Because I have zero tolerance for this shit. This is unacceptable. Got defensive, started bulldozing, talking over, interrupting. Wouldn't let any woman in the room, including the victim, didn't give two fucking shits about the victim in the room that was taken advantage of and raped by his own quote unquote guru. Defended, and then attacked everybody there and acted like he was the victim. Didn't give two shits about the actual victim. Acted like he was the victim. My heart is pounding in my chest. This is a lot to take in. I feel ambushed. I'm sorry, you emotional fragility fucking man-child. Are you serious that you're going to turn this into? We have a serious fucking problem with your quote unquote guru raping women, and you right now are the victim. You have got to be fucking kidding me. This is what we women have to deal with in society. This is what we women have to deal with at every fucking turn. And these are men in the world. Oh, I want to create a better world. Oh, I want to create a better government. Let's change things. We should not have poison food. They say all the right things. No nuclear weapons. We shouldn't have poison food. Oh, we should rely on nature. Meanwhile, they're in a cult with a cult leader that preys upon women. And this is what women have to continue to deal with in this fucking patriarchal world. And if all you hear from this is an attack on men, you gaslighting motherfuckers, fuck you. Because there is nothing but attack on women every fucking day of our lives. And there are more victims every fucking hour that we are alive. And these predators are everywhere. And they have completely infiltrated the spiritual communities so that they can continue to prey upon women, suck their life force energy out of them, disconnect them from their souls. So now you're trapped in the loop of blindly following them forever. This is why people, and women especially, when they are in cults, are trapped oftentimes for so many years. They are energetically disconnecting you from your soul. That is a real fucking thing. All of patriarchy, all of the cults of the world and the subcults of the world. This is what feeding off of your loosh means. They are feeding off of your life force energy. They're disconnecting you from your soul. You know why? So that you cannot reconnect energetically. That is an energetic process. You can't reconnect to it because you're lost and disconnected. You need a guide at that point to help you connect, to teach you what's going on here. They know that. They already fucking have this knowledge. They know that, which is why they groom you, disconnect you, and then you are less and less and less powerful. You're weaker to do anything to change what's happening, and then they can just keep feeding off of you. That's what cults do. That's what they are. And then they continue to steal your loosh. They continue to rape you, telling you it will heal you. They continue to take your life force energy, and you're just blindly following, disconnected from your soul. So you're lost and blindly don't know what to do. And you have no power because you're disconnected from your own divinity. That is what they do. They disconnect you from your internal divinity. That is an energetic, real fucking thing. What do you think happened to them? Why these misogynistic psychopaths exist? They don't have a connection to their fucking soul anymore. Do you understand this? This is a global problem. This is what patriarchy is, which is why they need to feed off of others. And they don't want you waking up, because if you wake up for real and you connect to your internal divine power, guess what that means? They can't feed off of you any longer. That's what that means. They can no longer feed off of you. And if they can no longer feed off of you, they cease to exist. Are we starting to understand here? So let me give you a clue. Just because they're from India doesn't mean they're an authentic guru. Doesn't mean they're not a rapist, a predator, a cult leader, a fucking psychopath who preys upon people and women especially. They're feeding off of women, stealing their life force energy with every woman that they coerce and rape. And then women are usually left so traumatized, ashamed, embarrassed, humiliated, knowing they can't reach out for help from almost anybody, because then they are blamed. They're victim blamed. Well, you consented. Really? So a child being groomed and molested by the man, father, uncle, neighbor, soccer coach, baseball coach, whomever, it's the child's fault by being manipulated over time and brainwashed over time. That's what grooming is. From an adult, somebody that's power over them, that they look to for guidance, for teaching, for help, for direction, etc. Hi, that's what grooming is. That's what a power dynamic and abusing your position of power over somebody is. It's sadistic. It's predatory. These men are fucking predators. And then the majority of women don't come forward and tell anybody about it because they're not supported. They're not offered what real healing from trauma would mean. Oftentimes, they're not only not believed, but they're like, you consented. You were there. You went to him. You were alone with him. What were you doing alone with him? He's supposed to be a trusted fucking spiritual guru. What the fuck? Wouldn't that be one person on the planet you think you're safe to be alone with? Give me a fucking break. You better stop victim blaming people, especially women. Knock it off. And I'm talking to everybody. This includes women. Women are fucking misogynistic too. Women are toxic patriarchy too. You're not exempt from this because you have a vagina. Because women do this to other women as well. Blame the victim twice. If you have gone through this experience in some way, it is not your fault. To be preyed upon is not your fault. To trust somebody that you think is there, you believe they are there to help you, to heal you, to guide you, to help you elevate. For them to prey upon you like that, it is not your fault. The shame belongs to them. The humiliation belongs to them. The embarrassment belongs to them. The weakness belongs to them, because those motherfuckers are so fucking weak, which is why they need to prey on you and steal your life force energy from you, because they are the weak ones. The weakness belongs to them. The emotional fragility belongs to them. It is not your fault. Trusting somebody that you think is there to guide you and teach you and help you to move through healing. And then they do what they do. These men who are fucking predators, they prey upon you, they manipulate, they groom, they rape you. It is not your fault. Woman, man, or child, it is not your fault. It is time to put an end to all of this. It is time to put an end to all of it. You want to know the two biggest red fucking flags that you are with a predator, cult leader, whether they're spiritual, call themselves spiritual guru, no matter what their goddamn race is. You want to know the two biggest red flags? Number one, it's a man. Unfortunately, that is the fucking truth. It's a man. There's your number one red flag. You are listening to still in a patriarchal world that does nothing but oppress and desecrate and demean and rape and degrade women and the divine feminine in every way humanly possible, through nature, through women, through animals, through children, through men, by destroying the divine feminine inside of men themselves. That's patriarchy. So unfortunately, you want to know the likelihood that you are in a cult with a cult leader? It's a man. There's your first clue, because they're a man. High chances are you're in a fucking cult leader with a predator. Number two, sex is involved at some point. If sex is involved at some point, you're with a fucking predator rapist. That's not a spiritual teacher. That's not an elevated being who's here to guide you and help you, to heal your trauma, to elevate your level of consciousness. If sex is involved, they are a predator. They're a cult leader. No matter how much they vomit out of their mouths about spirituality and using spiritual language. And by the way, have you gotten a clue? Did this sink in yet with you? Because they talk in a certain way. And they always wear the mask of being calm. Even keeled, calm. I have no emotions. Look at me. Silence, stillness means peace. No, it doesn't. Silence and stillness often means suppression, often means oppression. It's oppressive tactic to demean and silence people, especially women. Peace means silence and a soft tone of voice. No, it doesn't. That's fucking oppression. And these same fucking men, you know, like I called him Landon, when I brought this to his attention, this is fucking bullshit that this is happening. Bulldoze, defensive, toxic, masculine. Boy, did he show his true fucking colors. His level of immaturity and emotional fragility, with no fucking care in the world about a victim who is supposed to be a friend of his. No, he defended the rapist. Well, big surprise there. A man defending another rapist man in a patriarchal world. Boy, that was shocking. That was so surprising that was the reaction from a man. Where are you? Where are you, men that are waking up for real? Where are the ones who don't support rapists? Where are you? Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you, men that are waking up for real and healing out of patriarchy brainwashing, where you realize a woman's body doesn't fucking belong to you and you're not here to take from her? So I'll tell you what, there are going to be some podcast episodes coming out soon. And I'm going to tell you all about the Coalition of Oneness. Yep, Coalition of Oneness. Because I have formed the Coalition of Oneness, and this is a team of people who are waking up for real and connecting to their power. And we are here to fucking incinerate patriarchy and all of this type of violence that exists in this world. And we are doing that by creating our own nation, our own country that is actually filled with sovereignty. How do we become that nation that is an actual sovereign, safe, loving nation built on oneness consciousness and the 20 universal ways of oneness? How do we do that? We separate from the United States. We form our own country. Yes, we are here to make California in the United States no longer a part of the United States. We're going to separate from the US. We're going to form our own nation, a Republic of Oneness. And a coalition of oneness is the movement to make that happen. So, in episodes to come, I'm going to tell you more about that. You're going to meet some people that are a part of the coalition of oneness, that are a part of this movement. We are going to have our own sovereign nation built on the framework of oneness consciousness, and this kind of predatory, violent degradation, dehumanization will no longer exist because we have no more tolerance for it. We're going to create a nation that is actually based on freedom, and it isn't freedom if a woman doesn't have the freedom, the safety to walk about the planet, to go to the grocery store, to run errands, to go see a spiritual teacher, to get help and guidance from without being fucking raped. That's not freedom. That's not a sovereign nation. Are you getting a clue yet? That's not a sovereign nation where animals, beings, women, children, and other men, heterosexual, homosexual, no matter the scenario, no matter what shade of skin tone they have, they are not free to walk the planet in their everyday lives without a violent threat to their safety. Psychological threat, mental, emotional threat, physical, sexual threat. If your safety is violated, the threat of that exists, we do not live in a sovereign nation. And I don't see that almost anywhere on the planet. And so we are creating a new nation where we are creating it from a level of oneness consciousness based on the 20 universal ways of oneness. And a coalition of oneness is the movement here to make it happen. And we support and uplift other movements here in California that have the goal of doing the same thing. So more of those to come. You'll meet other people that I'm going to have on this podcast, and we are going to make this happen. Consider it already done. More details coming in the very near future. Until then, I want you to learn how to connect to your power, love yourselves, heal your traumas, and remember to be extra careful when somebody says they're a spiritual teacher or a guru. Are you absolutely certain that you can trust them and that you are safe with them? And here's the truth. Unfortunately, it is way more complicated than having no faith or blind faith. Two sides of the same coin, they're the two same frequencies. It is more challenging than that, which is why the grooming and the manipulation has to happen to gain your trust over time. Bah, bah, bah. Are they telling you what you want to hear? Are they speaking in the brainwashed spiritual tone and pretending to be calm and peaceful all the time, like they have no emotion? Unless it's now part of the spiritual brainwashing are men that get on their fucking broadcasts and cry. Oh, look, if I cry in front of you, I can be trusted because I can connect to motion. That's another brainwashing technique. And yet when women cry, they're hysterical or over emotional. But when a man does it, you see how it's used as a fucking brainwashing technique and a ploy. And if sex is involved, the second sex comes in to spiritual awakening, you are with a fucking sadistic predator, a cult leader, or at least a cult leader wannabe. You are not with a spiritual teacher, an actual, true, elevated being that has a high level of consciousness. The second they want you to take your fucking pants off, the second they want to masturbate to you, the second they want you to masturbate to them, the second they say, this is Tantra, and by me sticking my dick in you, you'll be healed. The second that exists, you're with a fucking predator. So women, and of course, this includes any men who have fallen prey to any of this stuff too. You are not excluded from this, but let's get fucking real as the way of truth. You're not preyed upon in the same way across the board, across the fucking globe, the way women are. So there is a massive difference here. But it doesn't mean that anybody who's experienced this as a child as a boy, as a man, you are not excluded from it. I want you to be extra careful, and to be extra careful, at least take away this from today's episode. The second somebody who claims to be so fucking spiritual starts talking about sex and that this is healing, you better fucking run and do whatever you want. I'm never going to judge you for what you choose to do. My advice and my guidance, fucking run. They are stealing your life force energy. They're a rapist and they're a predator. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't open yourselves up to it. At least until you evolve enough where you've learned enough and become a higher level that you have way more discernment on your radar, way more discernment. And higher levels of consciousness mean higher levels of intricate discernment. You gain discernment over time the more you elevate. Discernment is not discernment is not discernment. This is why we teach you every level, every step of the way, and integrate what we teach you over time at our Metaphysical University of Oneness Consciousness. And one of the main reasons why I offer everything that I offer at this university and the way that I teach everything at this university is to protect you. So you learn how to actually protect yourself and keep yourself as safe as possible, because these predators are fucking everywhere. These cult leaders are fucking everywhere. And I want you to be safe. I don't want any other person, especially women, because you're the ones that are preyed upon the most, to have to go through this again or ever. I want it to end. And the only way it's going to end is if we come together and work together to learn what this means for real, and for you to learn how to protect yourself, and for the people who want to actually support you, protect you, to come together and join your power together to put an end to all of this. Because I am fucking sick of it. I am sick of women being preyed upon. And then they're called gurus and spiritual teachers to keep looking up to. You're following predators. You're following rapists. You're listening to the teachings of fucking rapists. But because they're men and they're from certain parts of the world, somehow you listen to them, they're gurus somehow. They're not. They're fucking rapists. Have you woken up yet? I want you to keep yourself safe, and I want you to be extra careful, and I want you to protect yourselves. So if nothing else, as soon as they start talking about sex and that this is part of healing, fucking run. They're a sadistic predator. And they are either going to prey upon you, or they're going to use you, especially if you're a man, they're going to use you to lure other women in for them so that you can bring them what they're going to prey upon next. You're a pawn. And you're being brainwashed. And then you claim to have critical thinking skills because you're a man and that's automatic. No, it isn't. Let me tell you, Landon had no fucking critical thinking skills in any way, shape, or form. He's so fucking dumb and blind, and then defended the rapist and his cult leader. You know why? He would have to admit that he's wrong and made a mistake as a man. Oh my. Instead of, oh my gosh, this is insane. Holy crap. I forget what I called the victim over here. Let's call her Maria. If I didn't say that already, I'll just call her Maria. Maria, are you okay? Oh my gosh. How can I help? What do I need to do? Holy shit. I'm in a cult. Whoa, I have a predator rapist as a quote unquote fake guru that I've been following for years and have devoted my life to. Instead of waking up, this is how you know men are not protectors. He didn't protect. He blamed. He got defensive. He protected the fucking rapist. He didn't protect the victim. That's not an actual divine protector. So I'm going to leave you with this. If you want to wake up for real and you want to put an end to all this crap, the way that our mission is, the way that we are putting an end to it, we're ending it fucking now. And we're making an actual powerful movement to make sure that happens. Go to coalitionofoneness.org and see how you can be a part of the movement where we create an actual sovereign nation where there is no more fucking violence, especially violence to women, to children, to nature, of course, to other men too. Because that's what we're here for. You want to be a part of it? Go to coalitionofoneness.org. of oneness.org. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.